Hi everyone, it's Sunday, January 12th, time for another HideNet Week in Review. I'm Vera Dordick. So it turns out that last year's trend has carried over into the new year for the U.S. market. The first full week of trading saw mainly steady prices for steers, mainly on the heels of better demand. Sellers didn't report a high volume of sales this week, but that's to be expected in the period before the Chinese New Year holiday. With regard to regular weight heavy Texas steers, few sales were logged this week or over the previous two holiday weeks. Sellers were able to hold prices steady with any trading reported at $28 on 66.68 pounds. With regard to the cow market, interest is good and prices are reported to be a touch better. In fact, some sellers have decent positions and are running behind on their shipments. U.S. slaughter for the week was estimated to be 640,000. This was higher than the New Year holiday week's 546,000. The export report this week, the numbers contained more than a few discrepancies. In fact, this led a number of sellers to disregard them altogether. Some also said there were issues with the system for reporting sales that were attributable to the first days of the new year. So it was a bit of a mess. We'll skip telling you about those this week and take a look at shipments for 2019. For rawhides, the number shipped was 21,748,100, and for wet blue, it was 7,266,700. In our observations in the U.S. report this week, we take a look at the months-long steady market and what's driving it. From South America, editor Ronald Guiel reports from Brazil that pressure on raw materials has eased for the time being, and that fresh hides remain unchanged at 55 to 57 cents in reals. In US dollar terms, this is about 14 cents. After the bump in price in early December, TR1 also remains firm and is selling for 55 US cents per square foot for good quality material. In other news from Brazil, we have a report on the country's 2019 exports of hides and skins, which were stable in volume but down about 25% in value. We also have year-end statistics on footwear in Brazil, and we also take a look at ahead to the upcoming trade shows. From elsewhere in Latin America, Argentina's footwear sector saw declines in 2019. In Mexico, footwear is focusing more on exports, and we have an item on Italy's Concheria Pasubio acquiring a U.S. Mexican leather company last week. We also have news on the Nicaraguan footwear industry and its production of 8 million pairs in 2019, as well as an item on the fact that Paraguay's meat and leather exports declined last year. Moving over to Europe, editor Andrea Guolo says that slaughterhouses in Europe have taken an aggressive stance for the start of the year and are pushing their asking prices higher. Of course, asking for it doesn't necessarily mean getting it, so we'll have to watch and see what happens with those higher requests. Looking at English 36 plus ox, it's not in great demand right now in Europe, and prices remain unchanged at 78 pence per kilo. In Ireland, the better selections are still being sold at a steady 80 cents in euros, which is the same as it was in December. With regard to cows in Europe, Andrea says that prices are currently unchanged despite various pressures. That said, cows bear some watching because there could be some incremental changes coming. In the bull sector, all eyes are on the slaughterhouses to see what the production levels will be in the coming weeks, as this will have a bearing on raw material prices. In his analysis this week, Andrea takes a look at the current levels of business and the position of intermediaries in the market. That's all we have for today. So until next week, good night from HideNet.